Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving right into a truly fantastic explainer, focused squarely on A Course in Miracles, specifically Lesson 52. If you've been following along with the course, you already know how absolutely transformative these ideas can be, and honestly, today is a massive milestone. We are unpacking some incredibly profound stuff here. The whole point of Lesson 52 is to act as a kind of checkpoint. The official title is literally just Reviewing Previous Lessons 6 through 10. But what's so cool about this is how these 5 specific lessons stack together. They're not just random, disconnected thoughts. They actually build this incredibly cohesive framework that challenges literally everything about how we perceive our reality. So here's our roadmap for the review. Let's just read these exactly as they're written to set the stage. Number 6, I am upset because I see what is not there. Number 7, I see only the past. Number 8, my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. Number 9, I see nothing as it is now. And finally, number 10, my thoughts do not mean anything. Yeah, I know, these statements definitely challenge us, but stick with me because they're also unbelievably liberating. Okay, Section 1, the root of our upset, deconstructing Lesson 6. This review kicks off with a really striking statement. I am upset because I see what is not there. The text tells us there's a fundamental truth we just have to wrap our heads around, which is that reality is never frightening. It is literally impossible for true reality to upset you. Why? Because reality brings only perfect peace. So you might be wondering, if reality only brings peace, what on earth is happening when we feel anxious or angry? Well, it comes down to a mix-up. On one hand, we've got reality, which brings perfect peace and is totally unaffected by our confusion. On the other hand, we have illusions. The text is super clear here. When we're upset, it's always because we've swapped out reality for illusions that we just made up. We treat these illusions like they're real, which basically flips everything upside down, making us treat actual reality like it's the illusion. But here's the deeply comforting part. Nothing in God's creation is actually affected by our confusion. Since we're just looking at illusions, we are quite literally getting ourselves all worked up over absolutely nothing. Moving right along to Section 2, Trapped by the Past, deconstructing Lessons 7 and 8. This brings us to Lesson 7, I see only the past. The text explains that as we look around, what we're actually doing is condemning the world we're looking at. And the wild part? We call this seeing. But what we're really doing is holding the past against everyone and everything. By projecting all those old grievances onto the present moment, we basically turn regular people and everyday situations into our enemies. So holding on to the past means condemning the world and creating enemies out of thin air. But the text gives us a perfectly clear way out, forgiving myself. When I forgive myself and remember who I truly am, the whole game changes. The text says I'll then bless everyone and everything I see. Because in that state of forgiveness, the past just vanishes. And if there's no past, there are no enemies. Instead, you end up looking with pure love on all the things you completely failed to see before. Which leads us perfectly into Lesson 8. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. Think about it. If we only see our own thoughts, and those thoughts are completely obsessed with the past, the text poses a really logical question. What then can I see as it is? Like, how can we possibly see the reality right in front of us if our mental hard drive is entirely filled with old, outdated files? This preoccupation with the past isn't just some harmless accident. The text actually frames it as a defense mechanism. We obsessed over the past specifically to prevent the present from dawning on our mind. We're actively trying to use time as a weapon against God, against ultimate reality. But here's the empowering part. The text tells us we can just choose to learn to give the past away. And the best part of all this? It costs us absolutely zero to let go of an illusion. You give up nothing. All right, Section 3, choosing the present moment, reconstructing with Lesson 9. Lesson 9 hits us with this stark, undeniable truth. I see nothing as it is now. And the logic here is pretty much bulletproof. The text states that if you see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that you see nothing at all. Why? Because you can only see what is now. The past is completely gone. It literally doesn't exist to be seen anymore. So the choice we're making isn't between seeing the past or seeing the present. The past isn't there. The choice is merely whether to see or to be totally blind. When we choose to focus on the past, we're actively choosing not to see, and man, that has cost us our true vision. But the text offers this incredible ray of hope. Now I would choose again, that I may see. You have the power, right now, in this exact second, to drop the blindness and just choose true vision. That brings us to Section 4, Joining Universal Thinking, Reconstructing with Lesson 10. Lesson 10 states, "My thoughts do not mean anything." Okay, I know that sounds super jarring at first, but let's just follow the logic here. The text says, "I have no private thoughts," yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. It asks what these private thoughts can possibly mean, and the answer is kind of startling. They do not exist, and so they mean absolutely nothing. We desperately hold on to these private thoughts, our personal grievances, our past obsessed illusions, which the text actually describes as pitiful and meaningless. They literally only serve to obscure everything that is rightfully ours. But then it reminds us that our mind is actually part of creation and part of its creator. It poses this really beautiful question: would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than obscure reality with my meaningless private thoughts? It's just a wonderful invitation to step out of our mental isolation. Finally, Section 5. Review, summary, and practice. Applying the lessons. Just to reiterate our main goal for today, we are reviewing previous lessons 6 through 10. These 5 concepts, recognizing our upset is based on literally nothing, realizing we're trapped by the past, seeing how preoccupied our minds are, understanding that without the present we see nothing, and accepting that our private thoughts mean nothing, these are the absolute keys to unlocking true vision. Now, for today's practice, the text simply asks us to use these ideas for our review. It's all about continuity. Hold these 5 ideas in mind throughout your entire day. Just gently reflect on them over and over. Let them wash over your perceptions and correct your vision anytime you start to feel upset or trapped by the past. Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It seriously helps us out so much and lets us keep bringing you these focused explainers of complex material. All right, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder as you go about your day. Based on everything we've just unpacked in Lesson 52, I want you to ask yourself, what past thought are you willing to give away today to finally see the present? Remember, it costs you absolutely nothing to let it go. Thank you all so much for learning with me today, and I will catch you in the next explainer.